Hey everyone! So I'm excited to do this video, but I definitely wanted to take a whole year before doing a second part of this video. But today we're going to talk about the DAFT, the Dutch American Friendly Treaty Visa. And I'm going to call it the DAFT 2.0 because in this video, I'm most likely going to answer your questions that I've been getting a lot, either through email, either through DMs on Instagram, or just questions that started to come up often in my videos. First, I want to say that I really appreciate everyone for watching that video. I think it's one of my mostly viewed videos, and I really hope that helped people getting to the Netherlands, right? So, yeah. And the last time I talked about this visa, I've noticed the visa price went up to 380 euros in 2024, which I believe in 2025, the price is definitely gonna also increase. So yeah, let's talk about the number one question I get the most is, what do I first submit? Like, what is the first paperwork or documents that I submit in my first mail? And it would be the application for the purpose of residence of to work on a self-employment basis, foreign national. So that's around page 1 to 8, I believe, in the application. But it's just basic information of yourself and that you're interested in applying for the visa. Another thing that I submitted in at the same time is the appendix antecedent certificate. So it just, that one sounds a little confusing, but it's really not. It's just to confirm that you're not a criminal or you haven't done any crime in the Netherlands at any point of your life. The third one you have to send is the appendix statement due to European sanctions against Russia and Belarus, meaning that you're not going to do any freelance work with those two countries. And the last thing I sent was my passport pictures, and that includes your beautiful face, but also the stamp pages, so every single stamp that you have. All right, the second question I get the most is, do I need more income than the initial 4,500 euros? Personally, I wouldn't even try to move into a different country if you have less than that amount, because even just the application and during the application, I would try to avoid touching the 4,500 euros. And I think applying is around 380, so it's already almost 5,000 euros. And you know, that's not including opening the debit card, opening the business card, rent and groceries. And I feel like it's not going to be the best interest in your life to move to a country and you're just counting euros. And lastly, the most important part in this entire process is being able to rent an apartment, rent a place. And renting nowadays, they usually ask to see how much income you make by your pay stubs. So you can use your American pay stubs. I show my American pay stubs most of the time. And then on top of that, you usually have to put a deposit, a 1-month deposit. So overall, the most important thing before even starting this application is making sure you have an apartment confirmed. And there's still a housing crisis, always. I've noticed that recently, because I did move to a different place, that I've noticed that they ask a little bit more of a deposit for expats. I don't know if that's a new thing. Personally, I actually tend to avoid those because just because you're an expat versus a Dutch citizen, it's your opinion if you want to do it with them, but I'm suspicious about that. The third question I get asked a lot is taxes. So yes, I pay double taxes. So I pay US taxes on top of Dutch tax. And here's the thing, as long as you're a US citizen, which you are if you're applying for the DAFT visa, you have to pay US federal taxes no matter where you are. I think that is the life of being a US citizen. Versus here, once you have the visa and are responsible for paying taxes, you are doing your taxes alone here. I know a lot of folks get a bookkeeper, but I'm very good at tracking my budget in life, but also tracking everything in general in life. It's just easier for me to do it myself. But you could get a bookkeeper, and most of the time you tax your service, I think for me about 21%. So I've noticed that some of my services and with other freelancers, they charge that rate on top of what their service cost is. So let's say it's 100 and they actually charge 121, and in the invoice it shows that the VAT is 21%. So keep that in mind when you are freelancing and just all that. And I want to say that doing double tax sounds daunting, but it wasn't for me, and I think it's very smooth for me. Actually, you just set a time on your calendar when it's time to do taxes in the Netherlands, because you'll be doing it quarterly versus in the US you do it once a year. A lot of people ask me, it's not just one person, it's that should I visit the Netherlands before moving to the Netherlands? And short answer is yes. I think it's really for the best interest for you to visit a place before wanting to live there for an extended amount of time. And even then, just visiting the Netherlands as a tourist will be a complete different experience as actually living there. And I want to say yes, there will be a lot of rain, there will be bikes, and there will be Dutch people. So if you're coming from America, that is already a big difference, because even just coming back to visit America a couple of weeks ago, we drive everywhere. So that will be a completely new thing. They do drive here, but it's just not as common because just how the urban landscape is done here. You could walk, you could bike, and use public transportation. So, and I also don't recommend anyone to uproot their life and just go to a place before seeing it. Yeah, like definitely go to the Netherlands first, see how you feel. If you really like it, you're really gonna see the difference in terms of there might not be a lot of sun as you expect, and yeah, you could tell also in my YouTube video of my first YouTube channel. I mean, my first ever solo trip was to the Netherlands, and that was a very strong determinant factor for making me want to move to the Netherlands. But even now that living in the Netherlands for an extended amount of time, and then also uh, if I look back at my tourism video, it would look very different, and the experience is different. There's some similarity, meaning that I can go to museums and all that, but it is very much different, and I just want to clarify that. And my rule of thumb, if you hate a place for vacation, you will most definitely not like living there. All right, the fifth question I get asked a lot is submitting my document. Where should I do it? Should I start it in the States? Should I start it in a different EU country? And here's my thing. I think the best is the Netherlands because their postal mail system is really good. And if you are in the States, when they are sending you documents, it would take at least 2 weeks for it to arrive to you. And when you do this visa, there is an urgency because you have basically only 90 days to start the visa after living here. And then on top of that, when they ask you stuff, you would try to answer as soon as possible. And the mailing system here is really well done. So I wouldn't recommend you starting it in a different country or a different state. Just do the process once you arrive to the Netherlands and that you have a Netherlands address. It makes it much more smoother and quicker for you in the entire process and less stress. Okay, so a lot of people have asked me if I consider opening a consulting or just individual conversations relations to the DAFT visa, and I actually have decided that I will start be doing that in January. So in the description, it will give you a time where you can book a thing. I'm currently working on the logistic and the operation models and relating to spending some time to talk to you guys and answering your questions, and also just guide you through the entire process. But until then, yeah, so yes, I am going to have a consultant firm and it's going to start in 2025, and I'll create a calendar where you can book time with me and I can have some time and converse with you about anything you have in the DAFT visa. But until then, I hope I was able to answer some of your questions in the DAFT visa. Please let me know if you have any more questions. And yeah, and I really appreciate you all for watching my video, and I hope if this makes you want to go to the Netherlands, I wish you the best journey there. It is a huge learning experience for me, and I really enjoy the Netherlands. There was moments when I was in the States, I was like, oh, I miss this part about the Netherlands. So yeah, I wish you guys the best. I wish you a new year. I think I'm gonna post this video on the last day of 2024. So if you're interested in going and moving to the Netherlands in 2025, I hope this video will help you. All right, bye everyone.